G'day. Welcome to my locker room. Here there are memories of 8 Olympic Games that I've attended. Right from LA in 1984, right through to London. I'm wearing the London jacket at this moment. The London jacket that was the opening ceremony. And you know what? Inside this jacket, every Olympic Games that the Australians have attended since 1896, there in rich gold. And beside it in a dark green, the names of every Olympic champion from Edwin Flack in 1896 to our current champions. And I loved going through this jacket and checking out to see my own Olympic champions. Absolutely fantastic. Here, I turn around and look at this. Oh, I get left, right, what am I doing? Here, pins. Look, hundreds. This is only one of them. Hundreds of Olympic pins from countries all around the world. The Olympic torch from Sydney that I ran in Townsville, past the Trabuc pool, where I grew up as a snotty-nosed kid. I got out of my bed to give John Hendricks, Olympic 100 metres freestyle champion in 1956, I gave him my bed. And there, Dawn Fraser, Murray Rose, John Conrads, John Hendricks, you name them. Lorraine Krapp, the first woman to break 5 minutes for the 400 metres freestyle. Who else? Oh, David Tyler. He's now a surgeon in Brisbane. A surgeon who was a double Olympic champion for backstroke. Unbelievable. These are the memories that live in here. These are the memories that are etched into my subconscious. And from these memories, the Olympic Games, I draw my inspiration to look to the future. What can I do to better myself? What have I done to be successful? What can you do to be successful? I believe drawing on these champions is something very, very special. I thought, after I'd been to 3 Olympic Games with swimmers, that my tenure was at end. My tenure was at end. And then I got a phone call from this man here. The great Herb Elliott. Said, Laurie, in Atlanta, we're doing something different. We want to create an atmosphere in the Olympic Village that will relax, unite and inspire the team. Can you be part of it? Well, Elliott has always been my hero. This man, whose time in Rome in 1960 on the old Cinders track, Elliott's time would have won the Olympic 1500 in Rio. Can you believe it? 1960, 56 years later, he runs faster. In fact, there's only one person in that 56 years has ever run faster at the Olympic Games than this man. And was all inspired by, here's another book on the shelf, by this man. It's tattered and torn. Look at it. I've got little bits of tissue paper that are faded now that tell me different things. And it's called Sport is My Life by Percy Wells Cerruti. Percy Cerruti. Hey, unbelievable. And I model myself coaching on this man. Uncompromising, do whatever it takes to be the best that you can be. Look after yourself. Do whatever it takes to be the best that you can be. Mankind can find one unifying principle that transcends all barriers of race, class and politics, all of which separate people. Therefore, above all else, I am dedicated to clean, wholesome, manly, competitive, and in particular, international sport. What other factor in our lives makes it possible, if only for 3 or 4 weeks every 4 years, for all men to live as one in a village, together and intimately to live as brothers in amity and harmony? Unbelievable. I speak, of course, of that unique international institution that transcends even the League of Nations, the Olympic Games. And this is what he had to say about Elliot. The quality of Elliot, probably as in others I've mentioned, was his greatest asset. Not epoch-making gifts in the beginning, not great blessings in physique. He wasn't a big man, no strengths and abilities, but the almost insane inability to not know when he was beaten. As I've said often, too silly to know it cannot be done. He would train as no other athlete, and I know personally people like Zatopek, Cutts, Leslie Perry, people who would train to exhaustion. Very few have the ability to train like Elliot. I've known a couple. One, Zatopek, unbelievable. He used to get out in the morning and run, holding his breath until he blacked out. And every morning, he'd get up and do that, start the run like that, where he'd hold his breath and run until he blacked out. Crazy if you're a swimmer, because you'll finish up drowning yourself. But as a runner, questionable. So Zatopek, Kutz, these are the people who could train like Elliot. Well, I got that phone call from the great Herb Elliott. Once you are given an opportunity to improve yourself, something that you love, grasp it with 2 hands and attack it, and make sure that you make yourself so valuable that you will be indispensable next time. And that's what I decided to do at the Olympic Games in 1896. 1996, 100 years on. And that's where I roomed with this great man. And that's where Elliot said, we're going to create that atmosphere that will unite, inspire, and relax the team. Had a mate of mine, Robert Raftery, wrote me a poem that we would come together as every athlete came into the village. I would recite this poem as every one of our teams, basketball, swimming, hockey, equestrian, rowing, whatever team it was, I could recite to them as they came in and they were welcomed into the village. And I want to share it with you right now. It's time to turn good into greatness. It's the biggie, old mates, and we're in it. It's happened, you're here and you're champions. There's gold in the air. You can win it. You're sitting out there and you're sucking in air, and your heart's in your mouth, I can tell it. Hey mate, I'm talking to you. This is Laurie, True Blue. There's gold in the air. Can't you smell it? You've done the hard yards, you're the cream of the crop. You're a fighter, you're focused, you'll pump till you drop. And tomorrow you'll churn as the water will boil, as you rip at the air and you tear at the soil. Now go out and blitz them. But be no doubt, for Australia to win, let the animal out. They'll taunt you, they'll fight you, they'll spit in your space. And I'll watch as our flag paints a smile on your face. As the cameras engage you and capture that tear, and your mates all around you erupt in a cheer, stand tall, mate, and wear it by the rings and the flames, and cherish your moment of gold at the games. As that rectangle drag of our great Aussie flag rockets above, and you're there. You're the pride of the fleet, and the world's at your feet, and our anthem shots blasting the air. And then I'd start the anthem. Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. And before you know it, someone here starts, someone there starts, and soon the whole gathering of Australian athletes are singing, Advance Australia fair. Oh, goosebump stuff. And then the chef de mission walks out, John Coates, dressed in his Olympic uniform. And one by one, we call up the athletes and present to them a framed blazer pocket that they can take home and hang in a prominent place in their living room. So win, lose or draw, whether they get medals, they don't get medals, whether they make finals or whether they just bust their guts for our country, they will have something that they can put on the wall and remember the great time they had with other Australians at the Olympic Games. And remember the sacrifices and the pain, etc., that they went through to get there. Because I don't care who you are or what you do, unless you are prepared to pay the price, you cannot sit at the banquet of success. It is impossible. Let me show you something. In Atlanta, I witnessed one of the greatest swims I think I'll ever see. And that was done by a young man called Kieran John Perkins. The Aussies are hand-smelting silver. Kowalski's abreast on the wing. Gold and silver, here we come. Coach Carew's eyes are now glistening. He's starting to cry. Our flags are exploding poolside. Kieran's now sprinting to glory with a raven-haired girl by his side. It was one of the great 1500s, the most grueling swim race of them all, for the pain racks the body from 500 out as the pain can collide with the wall. But for now, the euphoria's explosive. Cheers, scalding tears for a son, a swimmer, a sportsman, now the master, world champion. Number one. Had we just seen a glimpse of the Snowies and watched a lone mountain man ride, seen the glistening iron mask of a rebel smouldering where Ned Kelly died? Had we redefined Dawny and Dougie in that lesson Lane 8 had to teach? Had our kids seen a vision of clear-cut precision, felt a courage, unborn, yet in reach? Perkins has come from just qualifying to being out in front and demolishing the field with Kowalski racing Smith for the silver medal. Now, Perkins' medal is housed by a mantle of teak, baptised by Muhammad. Would you ever forget Ali? Lighting the flame, holding up and shaking, riddled with Parkinson's disease, brought tears to everyone's eye in that arena that night. Baptised by Muhammad of Bill Clinton speak. And deep in its heart, though it's still just a game, by the 5 rings Olympic burns a bright torch of flame. The best thing in life is doing what people say you can't do. That's the best thing. How are you going out there yourselves? Are there things that people say you can't do, but you've got the dream, you've got the belief? Have you got the same belief that Johnny Carew had for his young pupil, Kieran Perkins, who became a dual Olympic gold medalist, 2 gold medals at Olympics, creating history? In fact, Perkins didn't only create history, he changed the way that 1500 metres are swum, because he took it out like a rocket, fast, early. He blew the opposition out of the pool. What are you doing as a businessman, to blow your opposition out of the pool? Are you analysing what you do to see if you can do it better? Because that's the secret. As I always say, the higher the mountain, the better the view. Keep climbing.